Uh, Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. There was another need that I needed to come back in. It's an urgent. This is an urgent message to the nation. Very urgent. Uh, I'm an online. I have an online app with YouTube that I work under, and that is my app address is excuse me, is Work Digital Affiliate, or you can catch me at Abundant Life at gmail.com. Work Digital Affiliate gmail.com or abundantlife.com at gmail.com. I'm sorry. However, again, seeing me and viewing me, you know me to be a male. I am a man. My name is Robert Barron. There are some issues going on with a stolen identity. My stolen identity. What's going on is that I'm a reader. I'm into reading. I do a lot of reading, tarot reading. And there's a myth that I'm this divine feminine. And I'm viewed as a female. The craziest thing. It's really nothing against the gay community. I have friends. I got friends up the butt that's in that community. But I myself am not gay. I don't practice it. I don't do anything of the nature to get myself involved with that. And now, in terms of making this statement, I said that to say this, that yet, in love offers and what have you, the people that has stolen my identity and tarnished my name, a lot of these individuals are, in that community, and, they're coming across assuming that yet this is my fad, or they have some kind of nature that they're trying to accomplish or whatever, but it's not with me. It'll never happen with me over my dead body that I would ever go in that direction. God created me as a male, and that's how I will die, as a male, enjoying the finer things in life when it comes to a woman. Now, and when I say that, I'm going to leave that there, but I'm going to put something else on the tail end of that. My name is Robert Barron. I was born to a Dolores J. a Dolores J. Barron. My father is Robert McLean. My mother is out of Pensacola, Florida. My father is out of Jackson, Mississippi. Reason that I'm giving you these details is because these individuals who have stolen my identity, they're stating to the world that they are my parents, and that's farthest from the truth. I've never met these criminals a day in my life. You have a Danielle Lane who's stating she's my mother. I have no clue who this woman is, and we're from two different origins, two different nationalities. My father is again, a black male, Robert McLean. He's a pastor at the Eastside Church of Christ here in the state where I live. Again, this guy, David, Danielle's husband, is under the assumption he's telling the world that he's my dad. I'm attacking these allegations because these two individuals are criminals at large. They're working under cloak and in disguise, creating these false narratives, false birth certificates, false death certificates. They have created false insurance claims over my life. All this stuff is, like I said, it's under investigation. These claims are far-reaching. Yet I say that to say this as well. They're working with judges that are well aware of what's going on. Judges are underminedly working with these individuals, underwriting these false narratives, knowing the truth. And you know, Mrs. Lame is somehow in some kind of promiscuous love triangle with the judge, her husband, and assumably it tried to tie me into a soul tie marriage with herself, which is that it was farthest from the truth. Again, back to who I am and my identity. Um, this woman, Mrs. Lane, came across me in 2020, 2019, 2020 calendar year. Could be a bit farther back than that. But however, she was employed with Publishers Clearinghouse at the time. She was worked on Publishers Clearinghouse as one of their representatives. Meeting her, she never met me face to face. I never spoke with her ever in my life. At which time I was just a contestant playing the games. You know, when I had won a substantial amount of money, games and prizes. However, this individual, at which time saw me coming into this revenue and had an ideal that she had created in her own mind that, hey, you know what? Instead of me going about this the right way and delivering this guy's prizes, she worked for the prize patrol. Instead of me delivering his prizes to him, let me connect with him and try to undermine him. She came across, I was communicating with her through email, through Pinterest. At which time she didn't feel like that was safe. When she put her plan in place, she needed to speak with me on Google Chat. We communicated on Google Chat, at which time she identified with me herself and her position. I knew she was a Publishers Clearinghouse prize control agent, but at which time she went on to further tell me in detail, because speaking with her, she had some kind of ideal in the back of her mind, like I wasn't an upright citizen, and she came to me and clearly noted that she worked for the FBI. So I was clear about that. I was very clear about her position. And I'm saying that to say this, that yet with all that time passing and the things that had took place at that time, she was in cahoots with Mr. David. This guy, David, he worked alongside her somewhere behind the scenes. But at some point or in time, before I even connected with Mrs. Lane, Mr. David, her husband, must have been, somewhere, in the picture, gazing over her shoulder. But he introduced himself to me. I was at the time trying to create an opportunity for my family, in which I had, like I said, won a substantial amount of money. So I tried to get into some investments, but I had wanted to really go about setting up a affiliate marketing agency, at which time I was already doing this. I was doing it under Wealthy Affiliates, which it was a manual perspective, and I needed something to move more faster. I wanted to engage doing something that had a little more flexibility and had a little more up speed to it. So this guy, he came to me with a proposal that he could put me in the position to establish a company that could do just that. At which time, I'm really just learning the marketplace and understanding how all this works. Mr. David, he goes on, he's seeing me, looking at me and looking and knowing that I wasn't really up to speed on how everything works. He's gazing over my shoulder, looking into my accounts and seeing that I had a substantial amount of money in my account, at which time he defrauded me out of the money and had me switch my email accounts over in order to really get established with the business of choice that I was trying to establish myself in. At this time, Mr. David, me not even knowing what he had did, because at the time, me getting involved with all this, like I said, everything was moving at a fast pace, but let's take it up a notch. As time progressed, he had already established all this, and this is the only individual who can get in and out of my accounts because he set them up. So when he did that, he rerouted all my banking information over to a private account to himself. And not only that, he had some kind of software where he can replicate any, I don't care, app, anybody's phone service. He's got some kind of app that they do this with. It's a software where they duplicate your information. Anything that's going on with you, they're able to duplicate it. I shared with some individuals somewhere along the line. There was some things that Mrs. Danielle and her predecessors were doing, working through parallel universes, fraudulently moving 10 of Pentacles around, buying property in my name. At which time I shared that information, but that's not this story. This is something else that had occurred. This is what brought us up to all of that. But here again, with that being said, Mr. David, her husband, after stealing this $400,000, he kind of faded back, and I was always concerned, like wondering what's going on. Why is this? I'm putting in the work, but I'm not seeing the results. So I'm kind of questioning what's really taking place here. And it was always a situation where, hey, I assure you this is gonna happen. And then it got to the point to where I was like, when I felt like there was a need to go in another direction, I started wanting to create another business, And so at which time he started trying to threaten me, physically threaten me at this point. Now, hey, I'm gonna send sending people over to my home, pulling up on my home address, you know what I'm saying, trying to threaten me, talking about I'm taking his business, and if I was to do this, establish a business, with the kind of name that I was using, with the Work Digital affiliate, I was gonna be really putting a big damper on his business, and creating a hole in his business. You know what I'm saying? So at which point I left it alone. My business was scaling. I was just focused on scaling my business. So that's why I wasn't able to catch all the activity that had been taking place behind the scene as to what was going on, in terms of this money being, rerouted to a different account and being, stolen to some degree or another. I was fraudulently being taken to the bank. At which time, like I said, now this is over some time. Time is going on. So by this time, I'm working, me not even knowing, what's really taking place. Mr. David and his wife, Danielle Lame, at this point in time, these people then got Google, to close my account. Well, it wasn't so much as they closed my account, they just more so ran me off because I was started questioning what was taking place and had no answers to the problems I was experiencing. And at which time I really never even knew that I was unemployed, to probably 3 years down the road, when Mrs. Danielle came to present. I was continuing to play Publishers Clearinghouse, at which time, like I said, this woman then took me for close to almost 800, probably close to $1 billion that I was never paid out from Publishers Clearinghouse, or properties, RVs, properties. These are things that are still up in the air, that has never even been addressed. So when they come to really try to bring me the house, to deliver a house to me, our whole ideal of that was that they had wrote up a insurance policy on me, and that was to get rid of me. That was the whole game. Judge involved. The judge is involved. Everybody's involved with this. Get this right. I want to put all this here in perspective. Everybody's involved. So everybody is in their position, playing their position, waiting for everything to play into what's going on. Now, the cherry on the top is the inheritance and all that they have been hiding. and the properties that they know, that the COVIDs and the company that I was due to take over, that that was in the will, they didn't. They hid all that. They hid all that, but the whole idea of them showing up to deliver a house, it wasn't really to deliver the house. It was to unalive me. That was the whole point of it all, was to get rid of me. But the point of that I'm making here, I'm trying to I'm writing this story verbally to the public, so the public will know, why these campaigns was put on to sabotage my name and try to down talk me and make me look bad, and try to speak bad of me, like I had no sense, or like I was incoherent and couldn't provide for myself or anything. What does that have to do with criminals stealing and taking from you? And I have no problem providing for myself. I provide for myself, and I provided for my children. I got 6 children that I've been providing for all their lives and haven't missed a day, dropping them off to school, picking them up, or nothing. And some of them are in and out of college and done with school and on in their lives and dealing with their careers. So what has that to do with anything when these people, and I'm talking about someone sitting here coming in, taking my credentials and using them to their benefit? And last time I checked, there's a HIPAA law that protects you from things like this. And then yet furthermore, there's a due process law that says, hey, you know what? He has a right to everything he owns. So how are you going to have usurp authority over my things, and I haven't given me the due process to even assess what I have? Okay? So come on, let's get on to some law. You want to know some case law, I will talk to you. I'll turn blue in my face telling you about it, okay? So let's get down to the nitty gritty and really talk about how this is going to get handled, okay? This is going to get handled like a boss, okay? And my boss, the man upstairs, he sent me here to address this. And this is what I'm doing. I'm addressing it like a man. And I will continue to address it until, I'm satisfied. Until I see where my money went and how much interest is going to be accrued on it. How is y'all going to pay that back to me with interest? Okay, so we're gonna speak that into existence. I'm not even bitter about it. And like I said, I got a heart of compassion. I've forgiven this here situation, because you know what? It didn't make me. It didn't break me. This don't create who I am. I live and breathe off of myself and my own desires of love and prosperity. I'm rich in my heart, so ain't a penny you can take from me. I have a heart of gold. So my heart is worth more than the air I breathe. And that don't even come with a price. So with that being said, this is going to be done decently in order. And I'm going to take each day to identify how I got here. This is what I'm doing right now. I'm not in a vulgar demeanor trying to speak outside of terms on, being angry. This has nothing to do with anger or frustration. This has something to do with respect. And I want to respect the system. I know the system works, and I plan on seeing it work, because I serve a higher power that's given me the authority to go forward and put my one foot in front of the other to address these matters. And not one thing is going to happen to me. I'm not even worried about it. They didn't try everything in the book. They didn't try it. And the Most High said, no, we ain't going to play that game. You ain't going to try to roll the carpet, roll the dice and take him out, and because y'all want to take his stuff, and then you don't have an answer, and your best answer is, hey, let's just get rid of him and sweep it under the rug. That ain't how things work. Not in America. That ain't how things work. God is good. I serve an awesome God. God loves everybody, and I love everybody. And the one thing everybody needs to do is love themselves and come clean with themselves. It's hard to accept the truth. Own what you do. Own what you do in life. If you did something and you know you got caught in a situation, own it. Because it can get worse than what it really is. This situation can go way left, way beyond where this is at. This can go way, way left. And it doesn't need to go that route. You know, I've taken the time to really have a cool head. I was trying to assess how did I want to approach this. And you know what? My Heavenly Father said, no, I'm going to approach this. He took the lead on this. He brought this case to light, not me. And by him doing that, he showed me, son, let's do this. They're not going to do this to you. This ain't going to happen. So I'm trusting that this can come together and be resolved. And despite all that, I have a job to do. I got a job to get on here and talk to the community every day. And so that's what's going to be happening. I'm going to share with the community how I got here. And this is what this has been about this morning. It's me talking about how I got here. And I just want to share with you all today who I am, the truth about who I really am. And I'm not going to be living behind. I don't live behind the curtains or the walls, or I'm a public figure. I have a face. I'm a person. I live and breathe. I got warm blood running through my veins, and I'm gonna enjoy my life while it's doing that. And I'm not gonna no one deter me from that. I don't breathe fear. I'm not afraid of death. I've been dead. I've been killed 12 times since all this began and been rebirthed each time. So I'm not afraid of what weapons or all that stuff you guys been using to try to assassinate me. Hey, you know what? God, until he tells me, son, you know, I did my best. I just need you to come home. That's the only way this is going to end. But until then, I am going to get the answers that my children need. I got a son with a brain tumor. I got other individuals with medical issues that are serious. And like I said, they deserve a decent life. How can someone be out here enjoying their life off their money? And you know, people, dude, that's selfish. That's a selfish, callous act that people would even have the desire. And I know it happens. It's just with the wrong people. This is the wrong people. Y'all got the wrong people this time. I'm an earth angel. Y'all got the wrong people. And I'm going to stand in my truth.